Krishna drove Arjun's chariot to the center of the battlefield between the two armies. Krishna pointed at the Kaurav army and said, Arjun, can you see your enemy clear enough? There stands a huge Kaurav army, 11 Akshohini strong. Valiant kings and warriors wait for orders from their chief, Bhishma. Arjun looked at the Kaurav army and saw his grandfather, his teachers, his cousins, and many others with whom he grew up. They were standing right in the front, ready to fight him. These people are his enemies, and he is supposed to kill them? Suddenly Arjun felt a strange shiver run down his spine. A deep sense of despair and panic made him numb. His head was spinning and he felt like throwing up. His feet trembled and his entire body was shaking like a leaf. He grabbed the side of the chariot to hold his balance. I see my dear relatives standing on the other side. They're eagerly waiting to fight me. Krishna, I feel sick. My body is trembling. My mouth is dry and my skin burns. I feel weak and my bow is slipping away from my hand. My legs have become weak and I am unable to stand. Krishna was surprised to hear this. He turned to Arjun and asked, But why? Moments ago you were fine. Arjun was sweating as his heart raced. He tried to loosen his armor to get some air. He said, I can't kill my relatives. How can I kill my grandfather Bhishma on whose lap I grew up? How can I kill Dronacharya who taught me to shoot an arrow? I know Duryodhan, Dusashan and his brothers are greedy and evil. Still, they are our cousins. We played together during our childhood, shared meals together and studied together. How can I kill them just for the sake of a kingdom? What pleasure would that give me? What happiness would I achieve by killing my cousins and relatives? It is a grave sin to kill your own folks. Killing them would result in destruction of our family and family values. I can't let that happen. I would rather let the Kauravas kill me. Arjun threw down his bow, took off his armor, and sat down on the floor of the chariot. Krishna was shocked to hear this. He looked at Arjun, and with a stern voice he said, What has come over you, Arjun? Now at this critical juncture, when both the armies are prepared to fight this decisive battle, how could you talk of giving up your arms and desert the battlefield? Come on, get up, pick up your arms and fight. Arjun didn't move. Sweat dripped from his forehead as he tried to lift his head. He wiped his brows and said, I'm sorry, Krishna. It is impossible for me to kill Bhishma and Drona. I love them and respect them like my own father. I can never hurt them, let alone kill them in the battlefield. I'd rather live my life as a beggar than commit such a heinous crime. This war is a huge mistake. I am not sure if it is better to be conquered or to conquer. What pleasure would I have by winning a kingdom void of Bhishma, Drona, and the other loved ones of my family? Arjun looked up at Krishna. His eyes were filled with tears. He looked back at the Pandav army and saw Yudhishthir, Bhim and his brothers eagerly waiting for him to come back. He looked again at the Kaurav army and saw Bhishma prepared to launch an attack. Arjun, with folded palms, looked at Krishna and said, I'm confused, my friend. My mind is numb and I cannot think clear. Tell me, what should I do? Be my guide and tell me how can I overcome this weakness? Give me the knowledge that would help me see my path bright and clear. Krishna smiled and said, You speak sincerely, but your sorrow and weakness has no basis. A wise man does not lament for the living or the dead. He knows there never was a time when you, I, and the kings and warriors gathered here have not existed. Nor there will be a time when we will cease to exist. Just like a person changes from childhood to youth and then to his old age, at death, he just moves on to another body, another physical state. This physical existence is merely a transient experience. Understand this, the body is mortal, but the inner self that lives within the body is immortal and indestructible. Just as one abandons worn-out clothes and puts on a new one, when a body is worn out, the inner self puts on a new body to experience another cycle of life. And this self cannot be slain or destroyed by any weapon. One might think he is the slayer, and his victim might think he is slain. Both are wrong, because you are never born and you will never die. Once you know this, you should realize that you could neither slay nor cause another to be slayed. Even if you believe the self is subject to birth and death, you should know that death is inevitable for the living and birth is inevitable for the dead. Hence, you should not grieve. So Arjun, get up and fight. Arjun, however, was not inspired by Krishna's spirited words. He was still morose and did not utter a single word. Krishna said, Arjun, try to understand. You are a Kshatriya and it is your duty to fight against the evil. Upholding righteousness and protecting the innocent is your Dharma. This is your path to salvation. At this critical moment, if you drop your weapons and abandon the battlefield, you would not only incur a grave sin, but you would also lose your dignity and honor amongst your fellow Kshatriyas. Your enemies would ridicule you and say mean things about you. Won't that be more painful? So get up and fight. You have nothing to lose. If you get killed in the battle, you'd go to the heavens. If you win, you'd enjoy the kingdom. Rise above the mundane feelings of joy and sorrow, success and failure, victory and defeat, and engage in this righteous battle, and you'd incur no sin. Arjuna still didn't feel any better. He mulled over Krishna's advice but failed to derive any strength from his words. Krishna noticed his helpless look and continued. I understand. You need more explanation than the Sankhya theories that I've been talking about. Let me tell you the principles of yoga, the path in which no effort goes to waste. Arjuna, ignorant people who follow the Vedas to the letter are full of desires, and all their actions and prayers are only to achieve earthly pleasure or a good reincarnation. The Vedic scriptures are of little use to the one who seeks the ultimate truth, the Brahman. You must rise above and detach yourself from the duality of pain and pleasure, joy and happiness. Remember, Arjuna, you only have the right to your work and not on its consequence or reward. You should not be motivated by the profits of your action. Renounce any attachment to the rewards of action and become indifferent in success and failure. Only then you can free your mind of any confusion and attain the state of deep samadhi. Such a person can free himself from the laws of karma and from the necessity to be born again. When you transcend the charm of the Vedas and your mind attains the bliss of self-realization, only then you can achieve divine consciousness. Arjuna looked up at Krishna and his eyes glittered with hope. He asked, "Oh Krishna, tell me, how does a man who is fixed in divine consciousness behave? How does such a person talk, walk, sit?" Krishna said, "A man who has renounced all sensual cravings and finds satisfaction in the self alone, such a man is fixed in divine consciousness. Such a person's mind is unperturbed in misery, pain, pleasure, fear, and anger. Just as a tortoise withdraws his limbs into his shell, he can withdraw his senses from earthly objects. Remember, Arjuna, attachment to sense objects breeds desire. Desire breeds anger that clouds your judgment, and you fail to differentiate between right and wrong. They are forever free who can renounce all selfish desire and break away from the bondage of ego, the feeling of I, me, mine. Only then can you unite with the Lord. Attain this state, and you will pass from death to immortality." Arjuna asked, "Krishna, you say the path of knowledge is superior to the path of action. Then why do you ask me to follow the path of action? I'm confused. Tell me, how can I attain eternal bliss?" Krishna smiled and said, "Yes, indeed there are multiple paths to attain bliss. The path of knowledge and the path of action are the two major paths. But the path of selfless action is the preferred one. No being can survive without action. Even breathing is an action. There is nothing in this universe that I am required to do. Yet, I am always engaged in action, else the universe would have been destroyed. Arjuna, perform your duties selflessly in the spirit of sacrifice without the expectation of any reward, and you will attain the supreme. Let me control all actions while you fight, not for the throne, but to serve your duty for which you are chosen." Krishna's response intrigued Arjuna. He was curious to know more. He asked, "What makes a person do evil things? It seems they're impelled by some unknown force to do the things they aren't supposed to do." "Selfish desire and anger are the primary causes of all sins," answered Krishna. "Selfish desire is your greatest enemy. It takes over your senses and intellect and buries your knowledge and understanding. You must fight to control your senses, and then only you'll conquer your enemy. Let your Atman rule your ego, for Atman lies above your intellect, your mind, your senses, and your body. I taught this eternal yoga, this secret, to Vivaswat. Vivaswat taught this to Manu, and Manu to Ikshvaku. Over the ages, this knowledge spread through the kings and sages. But over time, people began to forget the practice of this yoga, and now is almost forgotten. You are my friend, so I deliver you this secret teaching for your benefit." Arjuna was confused again. "How is that possible? Vivaswan lived long ago, long before you were born. How could you teach him?" "My dear, you and I have been born many times and had many lives, but you don't remember them. I do. Listen to me, Arjuna. I am the Lord, the Eternal who dwells in every creature in this earth. Over the ages, whenever righteousness is in peril, I appear on earth to protect the good, destroy the evil, and restore Dharma. I am the cause of all action and their consequences, but I myself am changeless and beyond all action. Actions do not cling to me because I am not attached to their results. People make offerings of material and service to reach the Supreme Lord. But Arjuna, offerings of wisdom is better than any material offering." Arjuna asked, You talk of the path of renunciation and you talk about the path of selfless action. Which is better?" Krishna answered, "Both the paths lead to the supreme goal. However, the path of action is better than the path of renunciation. Remember, Arjun, the Lord does not partake in the good and evil deeds of any person. When a person's wisdom is clouded by ignorance, he loses his sense of judgment. Only the light of knowledge of the inner self can lift his cloud of ignorance. Those who gain this knowledge have equal reward for all. They see the same self in all beings, a hermit, an outcast, an elephant, a cow, or a dog. To realize the self, one needs to master his senses, his mind, and his intellect through meditation. A focused, concentrated, and peaceful mind can only connect with the inner self, the Supreme. Arjuna was still not satisfied. Doubts and confusion raged in his mind. He asked, "How can I control the mind? It is restless, turbulent, and wild. Trying to control it is like controlling the wind." "Yes, the mind is restless and is difficult to control," said Krishna. "But with regular practice and detachment, it can be conquered." Arjuna asked, "What if a man who has faith but lacks self-control and wanders from the path, not achieving success in yoga? Won't he ever be able to attain salvation?" "No person who does good work will ever fall from grace. Through multiple births, he continues his advancement on the path to perfection." Krishna noticed Arjuna was still not inspired. He could sense the doubts in his mind. He touched Arjun's shoulder and said, "Listen to me, Partha. I will now reveal to you the knowledge that will clear all doubts, and you will get to know the essence of me. Arjun, I am the source of the universe, and there is nothing superior to me. Everything begins from me and ends in me. Like a string of pearls, everything is threaded on me. Arjun, I am the taste of water, and the glow of the moon, and the light of the sun. I am the fragrance of the earth, and the warmth of fire. I am the life of the living, the consciousness of all those who have developed consciousness. I am the splendor of all things beautiful. I know everything about the past, the present, and the future, but no one knows me completely. Those who take refuge in me with an urge to liberate themselves from old age and death come to know the Brahman, the self, and the nature of all action. Those who worship me and meditate on me, thinking about nothing else, I fulfill all their needs. I treat all creatures as equal, none are less dear and none more. But those who worship me with love and devotion, they live in me, and I come to life in them. Even sinners become purified when they take refuge in me. Remember, one who surrenders to me will never come to any harm. Arjun, give me all your love. Seek me in yourself, and you will unite with me." Arjun knelt in front of Krishna, and with folded palms he said, "Tell me more about you. I want to know more." Krishna said, "How much do you want to listen, Arjun? For there is no end to my attributes. Since you want to know, I will tell you some. I am the true self in the heart of every creature, and the beginning, middle, and end of their existence. Among the gods I am Vishnu. Of the lights I am the sun. And in the night sky I am the moon. I am the beginning, middle, and end of all creation. Of all the sciences I am the science of self-knowledge. I am the all-devouring death, as well as the source of all birth. Of the feminine qualities I am fame, beauty, speech, memory, intelligence, loyalty, and forgiveness. There is no end to my divine powers. Wherever you find strength, beauty, might, and knowledge, be rest assured that they have sprung from me." Krishna looked at Arjun, who was awestruck to hear these words. Krishna smiled and said, "But Arjun, what use is this detailed knowledge to you? Just remember, I pervade everywhere, and I support the entire cosmos with only a fraction of my being." Sitting at the feet of Krishna, Arjuna said, "You have taught me the mystery of the self. You enlightened me with the knowledge to attain salvation. Your words have clarified all my doubts. But I have one more request, and pray you fulfill my wish. Just as you described your infinite glory, please reveal your true self to me. I want to witness with my mortal eyes the creator of the universe." "You can't see me with your physical eyes of flesh and blood," said Krishna. "But I will fulfill your wish. I grant you the divine vision that will enable you to perceive my celestial being." Saying so, Krishna revealed his true form. Arjun saw Krishna standing in front of him, as huge as the Himalayas, brighter than 1,000 suns. He seemed to look at all directions with millions of faces and eyes. Within his body, Arjun saw the entire universe in all its manifolds. With folded palms, Arjun said, "O Lord, I see in you all the gods and every living creature. I see Brahma seated on a lotus. I see the ancient sages singing your praise. I see you everywhere. You are the supreme, the refuge of all creation, the everlasting spirit and the eternal guardian of Dharma. O Lord, I tremble in fear to look at you. Your fierce mouth seems to engulf everything. I see the sons of Dhritarashtra. I see Bhishma, Drona, Karna. I see the warriors and kings who have assembled here to fight. With millions of other creatures, they are all being sucked inside your wide-open jaws to their ultimate destruction. You swallow the entire universe in your fiery mouth as your entire creation bursts into flames. O Lord, I bow before you. Please have mercy on me and tell me who you are." "Know me, Arjun. I am time, the destroyer of all," said Krishna. "I have come to devour the world. Whether you fight or not, all the warriors assembled here will die. Don't worry about killing your loved ones, for I have already killed them. Bhishma, Drona, Jayadratha, Karna, Dussasana, Duryodhana, I killed them all. You are only my instrument. So, do not hesitate. Rise and fight, Arjun. Conquer your enemies. Arjun bowed in front of Krishna and said, "Oh Krishna, you are the Lord of every being. You are the creator and protector of the universe. I am fortunate to have you as my guide. I have treated you as my friend, and at times I might have made careless and foolish remarks about you. Please forgive me if I sounded disrespectful. I was ignorant, and I did not know your true self. Now I see you in this splendid form, and I feel enthralled and scared at the same time. Please, O Lord, retract my divine vision and let me see you as the Krishna I know." Arjun, no mortal has ever seen me in the form you witnessed today. Fear not, for I am your friend. Krishna then assumed his human form and smiled at Arjun. I have given you the knowledge and wisdom to help you make your decision. If you understand what I said, you should not have any further confusion. Follow the paths I recommend, and you will attain moksha for sure. Arjun, you are my dearest friend. So let me tell you these final words. Surrender to me with complete devotion, and you won't need to practice any of the yogas I mentioned earlier. Abandon everything and come to me. Leave all your worries, anxieties, and doubts to me, and I promise I will protect you, cleanse you of all your sins, and embrace you. With folded palms, Arjun said, "You have cleared my mind of all doubts and delusions. Through your grace, I understand what my duties are and what path I should follow. My faith is stronger, and I promise to do your will." Arjun bent down and picked up his Gandir. Looking once again at the Kaurava army, he said, "Krishna, take me to my position. We have a battle to win." Krishna smiled and tugged on the reins, and the chariot gently rolled back to the head of the Pandava formation.